In this video, I'm going to show you how to work with Rhino to make some 3D patterns. So this will be strictly in Rhino, no Grasshopper with this one. What I'm going to have you do is generate a surface. So I've created a new file using the large format in feet, and I'm going to save this. And I'll just put in here your name. So obviously you would put your name followed by 3D patterns and save. Okay, now we have so far worked with lines and points and some 2D primitives as well as 3D primitives. For this one, we are going to work with some surfaces. So I'm going to click on, you should be able to find this on the standard ribbon or the surface tools. We want to create a surface out of 3 or 4 points. And for this one that I'm going to make, I've got snap set on, and so it's snapping to 1 foot increments. So if you type in snap and snap again, you should see grid snap is on. Okay, so before you do that. Okay, now what we're going to be doing is taking this surface and manipulating it using its control points. So right now we just see this plane, and here it is in 3D here, and we don't see the control points. And I'll explain what this is all about in just a moment. So I'm just going to type in points on, and then I'm going to pick this surface. And as you can see, some white little dots appear at the corners. Okay, and when you click on them, you're able to sort of raise them and shift them around using the gumball. But before I do that, what I'm going to do is add some more control points. So I'm going to type in insert control point. It's going to ask me the curve or surface for the control points. So as you can see, you could do this to either a curve, in other words, a rectangle, a line, a circle, an ellipse, etc., or a surface. All right, now, when I hover over one of the edges, I have the option of placing that control. There's 2 of them actually that will be generated here and here. So I'm going to click. Right now, it's asking me where I want to put the next one. I want one here and I want one here. So what I have to do is change the direction. So if yours said U, you were probably able to place one here and here. If it said V, then it's a vertical one. So I'm going to click here, and then I'm going to choose U, and now I can put my control points at those midpoints. And I'm going to press enter. All right, so now I've got these points that I can then manipulate. Now, as I mentioned, this is going to be a 3D pattern. So what I'm going to do is raise and lower these points so that I have a figure that I can then repeat into a pattern. So one thing that's key to this, because I'm going to ask you to make your own pattern after you do this one, is that when one form is put next to the other, it has to have exactly the same profile on that side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to I'm going to raise up these corner ones. Actually, you know what? I'm going to lower them to -1, right? And then I'm going to raise the midpoint ones 1. Okay, so I'll go around and I'll lower all the corner ones. And if I spin around here, you kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like. I'll click on this one. This one will be a positive one. This one will be, make sure you get the point there, -1. And I'm going to keep spinning around here. This one will be a positive one. This one will be a -1. And this last one will be a +1. Oops. Now I have a symmetrical figure. And what I'll do next is I'll change this to maybe a shaded view so you can see a little bit more of the form. Okay, now once this is created, now I have this form that I can generate into more of a pattern. So what I'm going to do is make a window around it. I'm going to use the array tool, and I'm going to make 10 rows in the X direction, 10 in the Y, only 1 in the Z. And in terms of the unit cell or X spacing, it's 2 units wide. So I'll do 2 and 2. And when I'm okay with all of that, I push enter and I end up with this 3-dimensional pattern. Right now, the control points are still on. I can say points off if I want to see it without that. You can also change the rendering style. So you can see a little shade and shadow. And basically that's the idea with this pattern work. Create one and then generate a series of them using an array tool.